What if I told you that younger women are actually wired to find older men attractive, not in spite of your age, but because of it? Think about it. When she was a freshman in high school, she wasn't interested in the freshman boys, she wanted the seniors. When she was a senior, there was that young gym teacher that all the girls had a crush on. In college, there was always that one professor who had half the girls in class staying after to discuss their papers with. See, there's something hardwired into women that make them more drawn to experienced men. It's not about money, it's not about status, it's about the feeling that your attention, your validation, it's all harder to earn, which makes it more attractive. But here's the problem. Most older guys completely sabotage this advantage the moment a younger woman shows them any interest. They get so excited, so grateful, so eager to lock it down that they throw away every advantage they hold. They go from being this mysterious, accomplished man that she was trying to figure out to just another guy chasing her approval. In this video, I'm gonna give you the 7 laws for dating younger women. These aren't tips, they're not suggestions, they're rules. And if you break them, you'll watch her interest disappear and you won't even know what you did wrong. So let's get into it. Hi, I'm Bobby Rio. And I've been coaching men now for over 16 years. And a lot of my clients are guys in their 40s, their 50s, even guys in their 60s and 70s. And one of the most common situations I deal with is the older guy who's interested or talking to a younger woman. Maybe she's a coworker, maybe you met her at the gym, maybe she's someone he matched with on a dating app. And he comes to me because he doesn't know how to play it. He's excited, he's showing interest, but he's also terrified of screwing it up. He's thinking, why would she be into someone my age? What does she see in me? How do I not blow this? And that's exactly where things start to spiral. That's where they go wrong, because the moment you start questioning why she would be into you, you start acting in ways that make her question it too. So let's talk about the 7 rules that will keep you in your power and keep her chasing you. So rule number 1 is never lead with favors, advice, or money. So this is the trap that most older guys fall into. They think, I've got resources, I've got experience, I've got money. That's my advantage, right? That's what I bring to the table. So they start leading with it. They offer to help her with her career. They give her advice on her problems. They take her to expensive dinners. They buy her gifts. They maybe even offer to help her with her rent. And they think this is gonna make her see their value. But here's what's actually happening in her mind. He's trying to buy me. He doesn't think he can get me on his own merit. He's using his wallet because he doesn't have anything else to offer. And just like that, you've become the ATM machine. You've triggered every stereotype she's ever heard about older men. I had this client, successful business owner in his 50s, and he meets this girl at his yoga studio. She's 29, she's clearly into him, flirting, finding excuses to talk to him after class. So what does he do? He offers to let her teach more classes at the studio he owns. He starts giving her business advice on starting her own brand. He takes her to this fancy dinner and picks up a $400 tab. And within 2 weeks, she's treating him like a mentor, not a man she wants to sleep with. He friend-zoned himself with his own generosity. Here's the truth. She wasn't attracted to you because of what you can give her. She was attracted to you because of who you are, your experience, your confidence, your masculine presence. The moment you start trying to win her over with favors or money, you're telling her you don't believe those things are enough. And if you don't believe it, why would she? Law number 2, understand that female desire works different than male desire. So this is probably the most important rule, law, whatever you want to call it. And most guys screw this up the most because they assume that women think about attraction the same way that men do. For men, attraction is pretty simple. We see a woman, we're attracted to her, or we're not attracted to her. It's mostly visual, if we're honest. It's mostly instant, and youth is a huge factor for us. That's not shallow, it's actually evolutionary. Men are wired to seek out women who are fertile. But here's what most guys don't realize. That wiring does not exist in women the same way. Women don't have an expiration date on what they find attractive in men. Youth isn't a male virtue the way it is for women. Female desire is what I call an and game, okay? It's an and game. What do I mean by that? It means she's not checking off boxes like, is he young, is he hot, is he tall? She's feeling a combination of traits. Is he confident, and does he make me feel safe, and is there tension, and does he challenge me, and can he lead me? And here's the thing, looks are actually pretty low on that list. I know that sounds like something I'm saying just to make older guys feel better, but it's not. I've been doing this for long enough to know, and if you look at comments, if you look at stories, there are countless older men out there who are in relationships. They're not rich guys. They're not like, they're not bad looking guys necessarily, but they're not like George Clooney looking guys, and they have young women as girlfriends. Listen, I've seen it play out thousands of times where the 55-year-old with the gray hair gets the girl. Meanwhile, the 28-year-old, like gym bro, strikes out. Why? Because the older guy hit more of those and traits that we just mentioned. He made her feel something that the younger guy couldn't. So you've got to stop projecting your male brain onto women. Stop assuming that she's calculating your age the same way you would calculate hers. She's not. She's feeling the combination of your various traits. And if you hit the right combination, your age becomes an asset, not a liability. So let's get into rule number 3. And these are about her tests, which are how you reveal your most attractive traits. So I'm going to write down her tests are your friend. So younger women are going to test you. It's a fact of life. And they're going to test you harder than women your own age, and they're probably going to test you harder than they do guys their own age. Why? Because they need to know which category you fall into. See, in her mind, there are generally 2 types of older men. The cool older guy and the creepy older guy. She's met them both. She's dealt with them both. She's had messages from the creepy older guy on all of her, Instagram and stuff. And you don't want to be categorized as that guy. The cool older guy, he's confident, he's experienced, he's unfazed by her youth and beauty. The creepy older guy, though, he's desperate. He's grateful just to be talking to her, and he's way, 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 way too eager. So her tests are designed to figure out which one you are, which category you fall into. So what do these look like? Well, she might tease you about your age. She might say something like, "You're old enough to be my dad." She might test you by sending you a bikini pic to see if you lose your mind and get all creepy about it. She might flake on plans to see how you react when she does. And most guys, they fail these tests instantly. She teases you about your age and you get defensive. She sends you a hot photo and you start foaming at the mouth like you haven't seen a woman in years. She cancels and you send a paragraph about how much you were looking forward to seeing her. Every single one of those reactions put you in that creepy category. But here's the reframe. These tests aren't obstacles, they're opportunities. Every test is a chance to show her who you really are. She says you're old enough to be her dad. You smirk and say, "Yeah, I usually date more mature women. This should be interesting though." She sends you a bikini pic. You just acknowledge it coolly and change the subject. You show her that you've seen beautiful women before. She flakes, you say, "No worries," and you don't offer to reschedule. Each past test reveals more of your attractive traits. Your confidence, your non-neediness, your abundance. That's what separates the cool older guys from the creepy ones. Every time you pass a test, you're actually adding one of those and categories, right? You're showing her, oh, he's experienced and he has boundaries and he has standards and he doesn't make me the center of his world. You're adding all these things up. So it's not your looks, it's not your money, it's how you handle the tests, and you're gonna get these tests, so turn them into your friends. So let's talk about rule number 4. The harder you try to impress her, the less she respects you. So the harder you try to impress her, the less she respects you. This is a paradox, and it kills a lot of older guys. They finally get a shot with a younger woman, and then they try so hard to prove their value. They talk about their accomplishments, they name drop, they humble brag, they plan these elaborate dates to show her that they're sophisticated, they shower her with compliments. "Oh, you're so mature for your age, you're not like other girls, I've never met anyone like you." And they think all this effort is winning her over. But here's what's really happening. Every time you try to impress her, you're telling her that you don't think you're impressive enough on your own. Every compliment you give her freely loses its value. Every accomplishment you brag about makes you look insecure about it. I work with this surgeon, Mark, early 50s, runs his own practice, and there's this nurse, Amy, she's 28, clearly into him, and for weeks, he barely noticed her. He was just focused on his work, being himself, and she couldn't get enough, always finding reasons to try to come and talk to him, assist him, stopping by his office, laughing at everything he says. Then one day, Another nurse tells him that Amy's into him, right? They have a conversation and this nurse mentions it, and guess what happens? Everything changes. Now Mark is suddenly, planning elaborate wine dates to take Amy on. He's now texting her right after they have lunch to tell her what a great time he had. He's telling her how mature she is, how different she is from other women, and within 2 weeks, that attraction Amy was feeling is gone, and he can sense her pulling back. So what happened? Well, he went from being the prize to being the chaser. The moment he started trying to impress her, she stopped being impressed. Here's the law. A younger woman wants to earn your validation. She wants to feel like your approval actually means something. But if you're handing it out for free, if she doesn't have to do anything to get it, if she senses that you're desperate for her approval, well, then your approval becomes worthless. Let her impress you. Let her wonder if she's living up to your standards. That's what keeps her hooked. All right, rule number 5. So rule number 5 is always be leading. So one of the biggest advantages that you have as an older man is you've been around. You know how the world works. You can take charge and she can relax, right? And a younger woman wants you to use that. She wants you to lead. She doesn't want to be the one making all the decisions. She doesn't want to be the one who has to make the plan, pick the date, pick the restaurant, figure out logistics. She doesn't want to also have to be the one to signal that it's okay for you to make a move, or she doesn't want to have to be the one who flirts with you first. She doesn't want to have to be the one who goes for the kiss. She doesn't want any of that. She wants to step into your world and just let you guide her. But here's where older guys mess up. They've been trained, usually by years of marriage, to defer to women. Where do you want to eat? What do you feel like doing? When are you free? They think they're being considerate or respectful, but to a younger woman, it reads as weak. She's thinking, why won't this guy just make a decision? Here's what she actually wants. I'm picking you up at 8, wear something nice. We're gonna go to this place I know. That's it. That's the energy. You're the captain of the ship. You set the course. She doesn't want to tell you, how to steer your own ship. She wants the captain to know how to steer the fucking ship. She doesn't want to worry that you might panic in a storm. She wants to relax on the deck, trusting that you know the destination and you can handle whatever comes up, and she does not have to put an input. That's the older guy fantasy she has. The experienced man who takes charge, who has it handled. Now, this doesn't mean being a dictator. You're still paying attention to what she likes. You're still calibrating, but you're doing it from a place of leadership, not from permission seeking. Lead the conversation, lead the plans, and lead the escalation. Again, this is something I've seen older guys that I work with struggle with because they're so happy sometimes to be with a younger woman that they start to feel intimidated. And even when the date's going well, even when she seems to be into them, they're always waiting for her to go, oh, it's okay to put your hand out now. It's okay to touch me. It's okay to invite me back to your place. And she winds up having to do that. And the minute she does, she loses attraction because she wants you to do that. That's what she is secretly hoping you'll do. So law number 6 is hold on to the masculine frame. So you've got to hold on to the masculine frame, your masculine frame, and you got to hold on to it with your life because your frame is your reality, okay? It's your sense of who you are, what you want, and how the world works in your reality. And when you're dating a younger woman, she's going to test that frame constantly. Not because she wants you to fail, but because she needs to know if it's real, right? If your reality, if this facade of being this confident guy, she needs to know if you're actually the man you're presenting yourself as. So she'll poke, she'll prod, she'll throw little challenges your way. These are the tests we talked about earlier, but there's different reasons she's doing it, right? She might try to make you jealous by mentioning other guys. She might act hot and cold to see if you're going to chase her. She might bring drama or emotional chaos to see if you'll get rattled by it. And the moment that you lose your frame, the moment that you get reactive, jealous, start chasing her approval, that means you've got sucked into her reality. You've abandoned your own reality, your own frame, and you've entered hers. You've entered her frame, her reality. And when you do that, you've just told her everything she needs to know, right? You're not the confident older guy. You're just another insecure guy in a nicer suit, happy to be in her world. Think of yourself as the mountain. Her emotions, her tests, her drama, think of that as the weather. The weather changes, it gets stormy, it gets chaotic, but the mountain doesn't move. The mountain doesn't chase the wind, the mountain doesn't try to calm down the storm. It just stays grounded, and eventually the weather settles around the mountain. That's your job. Stay in your reality, stay grounded in who you are. Don't apologize for your age. Don't try to fit into her world by acting younger or listening to her music. Don't let her moods dictate your mood. Invite her into your world, hold your frame. That's what she's actually attracted to. So, rule number 7, and this is something I see happen with a lot of older guys, is don't project your ex onto her. So, don't project your ex's criticism onto her. Now, this is if you come out of a long-term relationship, a long-term marriage. I see this happen to clients all the time, right? This is something that happens to my divorce guys, and trust me, I talk to a lot of guys who do this. And this is where you come out of a long marriage and you're carrying baggage, not just emotional baggage, but a whole set of beliefs about what women want. Because for years, your ex-wife was telling you what was wrong with you. You're not emotional enough. You don't talk about your feelings. You're not sensitive to my needs. You're always working and you don't pay enough attention to me. You need to be more vulnerable. You never buy me flowers. You never tell me you love me. And what happens? You internalize all of those complaints. So now you meet this younger woman and you think, I'm gonna do it right this time. I'm gonna be emotional. I'm gonna share my feelings. I'm gonna be vulnerable and sensitive and give her the flowers that my wife said she wanted. And what happens? She loses attraction. She pulls away, and you're sitting there thinking, but I did everything that she's supposed to want. Here's what you need to understand. What your ex-wife or ex-girlfriend said she wanted and actually what creates attraction are two different things. Your ex wasn't giving you a roadmap to be more attractive. She was giving you a list of complaints from a relationship that had already lost its spark. And a lot of those complaints, it wasn't her really feeling those things. It was her trying to figure out why she's no longer attracted to you. And the female brain doesn't do a good job of like looking at what's going on. So they try to figure, I've lost attraction to this guy. Why? Because he doesn't tell me how he feels, or because he doesn't say he loves me. She doesn't know how to process this lack of attraction, so she tries to assign it something. But what's weird is a lot of these complaints are actually things that make you more attractive to a new woman, right? She says you weren't emotional enough. That emotional restraint is actually attractive to a younger woman who's used to dating guys who overshare on the first date. Maybe she said you weren't vulnerable enough. That mystery is what keeps a new woman intrigued and chasing. I had a client, a divorced guy in his late 40s. His ex had spent years telling him that he was too stoic, too closed off. So he meets this younger woman and he decides that he's gonna be an open book. First date, he's telling her about his divorce, about his childhood wounds, about his fears. He thought he was being evolved and emotionally mature. She thought he was way too intense and had more baggage than an airport. There was no second date, obviously. Well, here's the law. A younger woman isn't looking for the man that your ex-wife wanted you to be. She's looking for a masculine, confident guy who doesn't need to process his emotions out loud on the first 3 dates. Leave your ex's criticism in the past. Don't let a dead relationship dictate how you show up to a new one. So those are the 7 laws or the 7 rules, and I'm gonna run through them again one more time. Number 1, never lead with favors, advice, or money. Number 2, understand that female desire works completely differently than your desire or male desire. Number 3 is her tests are how you reveal your most attractive traits. 4, the harder you try to impress her, the less she's gonna respect you. 5, always be leading. 6, hold on to your masculine frame with your life. 7, don't project your ex's criticism onto a new woman. Follow these laws, and you're not just gonna attract younger women, you're gonna keep them chasing you. Now, if you wanna go deeper on this, I do a free live class with my friend Hank a few times a week. Hank's 55 years old, and he's been teaching this stuff for decades. The class is called How to Turn Your Age into the Ultimate Advantage with Women. We talk about the specific tests that younger women run on older men and exactly how to pass them. We talk about how to demonstrate the traits that younger women find irresistible in experienced older men, and how to communicate from a position of being the prize. If you're 35, 40, 50, even late 60s, this class is going to open your eyes. It's completely free. There's a link in the description below. And if you found this video valuable, helpful, hit the like button. It helps other guys know to watch this video if they're in your situation. And also leave me a comment below. And if you haven't already, subscribe so you don't miss future videos.